Hello. In this lesson, we're going to go ahead and import the proxy that we just created. So if you missed the first part, you can go ahead and go to the previous lesson, which is creating a proxy. This one is called importing a proxy. All right. So as you can see, I've got an untitled document here. I've got my real-time rendering up and going on the right, and I've got my asset editor. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up here to the Vray toolbar, and I'm going to click on this little guy right here where it says Cascade Vray Proxy. Click on that little triangle. I'm going to go to the right hand side. I'm going to say import a VR mesh. So I'm going to click on that. And now it's going to give me a pop-up window. And in here, I can find the rock that I just created. It's the Proxy VR2 mesh. I'm going to click on that, and I'm going to hit open. Okay. And now it's going to say choose a point to put it. So I'm going to go ahead and click here. And can't really see it. So I'm going to go ahead and hide my infant ground plane. And since this is probably really, really small, I'll go up to my standard window. And I'm going to click on, there we go. What I just did was did a zoom extents. So I found everything that was in here. And I'm going to type in show to get my ground plane back. And as you can see, my rock appears to be floating a little bit. Okay. Now, what we see on the right here is pretty typical, right? You go ahead and you create a proxy, and you'll remember that in this video here, all of the materials were on these things. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and minimize this. But here, once you create a proxy, unfortunately, those materials don't come through. Okay, so you then can go ahead and I can go here to my material editor, and you'll notice that I do have materials, right? And if I click on them and go over here and edit them, you'll notice all I have right now is a diffuse layer, which tells me it's pink. Okay. And then I've got no sort of texture map, although the texture map is checked, right? And the same thing here. What I've got here is what's called a submaterial, and this sort of submaterial, or this entire set, will often come in with a proxy. So if you had a tree with like 4 or 5 different materials on it, all of those materials would be here under this this submaterial. And you can typically click on this little triangle right here, and you can find all the materials that are in that submaterial, right? And then you can begin to go back to your object and apply those materials to your selection, okay? So I'm going to simplify things. I'm going to go back to my material list here, all right? And I'm going to go to this particular material here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to, under the diffuse and the roughness, I'm going to find the texture map. And then on the roughness, I'm going to go ahead and find and add the bump map. And we're going to go ahead and replace all the materials that we're missing in this proxy right here. Okay. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and click here where it says find my map. And right there it says none. So I'm going to go up to my bitmap. And here are rocks. So I'm going to double scan rock diffuse. I'm going to click and hit open. And now I have a feeling if I hit back, it's going to make things disappear because Vray has some bugs. But let's see what happens. Nope, that worked out pretty well. All right. And now you can see on my rock here, and just here flowing, do is I add a bump. So I'm going to click on this guy, and I'm going to go up here to bitmap, and now I'm going to go rock bump. Select that, open. And I'm going to hit back, and now I've basically added a bump map to my rock, which means it's going to appear as if it has a little bit more texture to it. I can move my roughness up a little bit. There we go. And now I did and replace the proxy. I'm going to stop here, and I'm going to teach you how to turn these things. Okay, in the next lesson.